Welcome in, take a seat, grab a snack, stay a while, survive, remain on the grind, dodging hooks with a smile, looping killers, breaking ankles, gotta keep them on their toes. But if it's Ghostface in the lobby, man, I'm about to throw. We stay positive, we stay strong, even when the matches go all wrong. Wholesome vibes never fake, but if you snug, that's a mistake. We sweat for the hatch, we fight till the end, side by side with my Twitch chat friends. No salt, just love, keep the toxic away. GG's in the chat, that's how we play. Flashlight saves, juking hard, we ain't going down fast. If you camping out my hook, better hope I don't last. Throwing pallets, dropping perks, dead hard when I gotta. But if Ghostface peeks around, yo, I'm screaming for my mama. We stay positive, we stay strong, even when the matches go all wrong. Wholesome vibes never fake, but if you slug, that's a mistake. We sweat for the hatch, we fight till the end, side by side with my Twitch chat friends. No salt, just love, keep the toxic away. GG's in the chat, that's how we play.
Hatch luck, one more gen, don't give up. Flashy saves, no, we don't stop. Ghostface, nah, get blocked.
Let's sweat for the hatch, we loop all night. Bring your best, we'll put up a fight. Safe space, good vibes, come and see. This is the place where you wanna be.
Alright, chat, GG's, that was a rough one.
Ghostface again?
Nah, I'm done. Someone queue up the next match before I lose my mind.
Welcome in, take a seat, grab a snack, stay a while, survive, remain on the grind, dodging hooks with a smile, looping killers, breaking ankles, gotta keep them on their toes. But if it's Ghostface in the lobby, man, I'm about to throw. We stay positive, we stay strong, even when the matches go all wrong. Wholesome vibes never fake, but if you snug, that's a mistake. We sweat for the hatch, we fight till the end, side by side with my Twitch chat friends. No salt, just love, keep the toxic away. GG's in the chat, that's how we play. Flashlight saves, juking hard, we ain't going down fast. If you camping out my hook, better hope I don't last. Throwing pallets, dropping perks, dead hard when I gotta. But if Ghostface peeks around, yo, I'm screaming for my mama. We stay positive, we stay strong, even when the matches go all wrong. Wholesome vibes never fake, but if you slug, that's a mistake. We sweat for the hatch, we fight till the end, side by side with my Twitch chat friends. No salt, just love, keep the toxic away. GG's in the chat, that's how we play.
Hatch luck, one more gen, don't give up. Flashy saves, no, we don't stop. Ghostface, nah, get blocked.
Let's sweat for the hatch, we loop all night. Bring your best, we'll put up a fight. Safe space, good vibes, come and see. This is the place where you wanna be.
Alright, chat, GG's, that was a rough one.
Ghostface again?
Nah, I'm done. Someone queue up the next match before I lose my mind.
Welcome in, take a seat, grab a snack, stay a while, survive, remain on the grind, dodging hooks with a smile, looping killers, breaking ankles, gotta keep them on their toes. But if it's Ghostface in the lobby, man, I'm about to throw. We stay positive, we stay strong, even when the matches go all wrong. Wholesome vibes never fake, but if you snug, that's a mistake. We sweat for the hatch, we fight till the end, side by side with my Twitch chat friends. No salt, just love,
Hello, gamers. Welcome in. Good to be back. And what a day to come back to. We've got duo gaming with the wonderful sketch. Nana, welcome in. Congratulations on getting first. I see you. Let's fucking go. Hi. Hi, Anne. How are you? How's your weekend going? Thanks for the invites to play. I'm sorry I was out. It was a good time, but also I was sad that I wasn't gaming. Hello. Let me drag us to live. Hold on. Before people are like, "Hey, people are hanging out. Let's jump in." And then, "Hi, we're live streaming." All right, better. Do you remember if we can do the stream together thing? 'Cause you're on. Okay. Got it. Hold on. Hello, friends. Welcome in. Hi, Lake. How are you? Hi, Penguin. Welcome in. And thank you so much for the 7 stream streak. Granny, thank you for the lurk. Lucky, enjoy Daily Doggo Treat. Thank you for the 28. Welcome in, gamers. I think I said Nana, congratulations on getting first. Granny, congratulations on getting second. You have a new piercing. Oh, that's exciting. Nothing too painful, I hope. Hi, Fade. Thanks for stopping by, gamer. I'm sorry Scrim didn't work out. I was so ready. I was like, yes, if everybody hops on, maybe it takes like in half an hour, but then at least we could have 2 hours to scrim. It was not to be. It was not to be. Lake, enjoy your daily doggo treat. Thank you for the 65 and thank you for the dance. Penguin, how are you? How's your week going? How's it going? It's good. It's good. London was great. I really missed gaming. I miss all of you so much. So, you know, there's that. But it was a really nice weekend. We had great weather. It's good company. And yeah, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be back. Some more 2v8 gaming today with the wonderful sketch. He's gonna hard carry. Hi, Joe. Thank you for stopping by, my Joe. I'm here on the better side of the video stream. Yes, you know where it's at. You know how it is. You're good? Wonderful, Penguin. I'm glad to hear. Enjoy your daily doggo treat. Thank you for the treat. And Joe, thank you for the 5. Thank you so much. Sick home since Friday? Shit, Lake. Are you okay? I was sick a week and a half ago. I was not well. Do you have a sore throat as well, Lake? It's going around. Wonderful and sketch can't be in the same sentence. Yes, that's true. That's true. I was lying, Joe. Thank you for keeping me straight. I played... Why is my cursor on the screen? Hello? I played some games today. 2v8 was bad. Nobody's on gens. Like, actually, nobody's on gens. And I'm on gens, and I don't know how to hit a skill check. I don't want to hear it. Oh, that's a Wesker. I thought it was a Nemi. Oh. Oh, ours were mates. Yep. My god. It's a smiley piercing. It's a ring that pierces in the inside of your mouth, top lip. You have a fleshy part, and then the ring sits in front of your front teeth. Oh, whoa. 0 out of 10 pain getting it, and I have a needle phobia. Okay, well that's good, and that's good. Oh, we have a trapper as well. Because it sounds like hella complicated, but I'm glad it's working out. That's such a cute piercing. LOL. Sketch trapped in a trap, guys. I'm laughing at him. Sucks to be you, I guess. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. No, I've actually been playing. I guess it's just your first game. That's not an angle. Yeah, there was an update just now, I think, before I yeah, nothing. I need to put you on the Discord, guys. You can't hear sketch yet. Joe is here. Yeah. He said he listened. He had a really good point. He said he's on the better side of the duo stream, and he's right. Back, stomach ache, shit. Well, Lake, please look after yourself. Stay hydrated. Can't I just perma kill switch Wesker? What do you mean, Lake? Take that back right now. We're not perma kill switching Wesker, okay? It's not happening. And you shouldn't be saying stuff like that over here. You know better. Granny, thank you for the lurk. You have a gap between your front teeth and same with your ears. You hated showing your big ears, but since I got them pierced, I love it of like decorating the imperfections, and that's the same for the smiley piercing. Such a good way to go about it, and what a good idea. What a good idea. Yeah, that girl's dead as hell. Unlucky. We will remember her. We're at 7 gens, by the way. 1 dead. It's going really well. Pretty welcome in. How are you? Thank you so much for the 63 treats. Thank you, gamer. Hello, how are you? I'm taking a spray. Maybe somebody needs it, right? There's still like 3 gens here. I don't know why everybody's dying from traps. It looks like he's set up like behind main. Okay, my audio just died. That's fine. Who needs audio in this game? And we're back. It's that Bluetooth. Hi, Ezra. How are you? How was the rest of the tournament? I didn't end up seeing everything. Did you have fun in the sneaky tourney? Instead of feeling bad about it, I love to enhance it and embrace it. Such a good way to go about it, and what a good idea. You're good? Wonderful. I'm glad to hear, pretty. Yeah, I'm doing alright. I'm tired. Because it was a long weekend. So I drove to London on Friday with my hockey team. So we were like 13 people, I think. Maybe 14, 15, I don't know. 11, 13 people. Yes, and that's final. And it was an international hockey tournament. Sadly, I didn't get to play. Some of you may remember that I got injured. Whoa. Oh, he gets me here. Finesse! Fuck my life. Where am I going? I gotta look in. Oh, well. Nothing locking in about that. So my team played while I sat in the sun and drank cider and watched the hockey, which was great. And then we had parties at night. I didn't stay up too late. I was just way too tired for everything. I watched my team die for cheese. Play the Altruism League. Week 1. We only just lost it in a tiebreaker. It was a very tight game. I really enjoyed hanging out with the gang and going over the game. I was literally at a party, sitting in a corner with my with my Bluetooth headset, tuning in to see the games on the Discord. I was happy to catch that. I think this is where all the traps are, no? I'm leaving. This morning I already went to the office. No dog today. I was lucky. The owner only brought the dog over for one day, which was Monday. Yeah, yesterday when we were traveling still. And after the office, I went to meet up with one of my cat sitting friends about all the summer jobs we have coming up. And then I played some DVD. Hi, Nana! Congratulations on getting first. I don't know if you were here when I said it, but I see you and thank you so much. Happy you're back. Nah, you're too kind. I'm really happy to be back too. I am really happy. It's the internet was shit. I could barely watch the stream over there. And you forget how important, how big a part of my life that is now. Bro. Am I walking into a trapper? Yeah. So yeah, I'm really happy to be back. Survivor rounds was rough. You got knocked out. You ended up with Sid Coletti for our killer. I did have a lot of fun. Nice. With the 2 killer rounds, beautiful. They had sent me the info for the killer round wrong. Oh, you were near the end. Yeah, I was looking because I think I remember seeing like game 2 and 3. And you were not on it. Basically. What is happening to my... No, where? Discord? Hello? Hello?
Hello, hello.
Ah, yes, there we go. Now you're on stream as well.
Now Joe can hear my nasally voice on your end as well.
Yes.
How have you been? How was your days been?
Oh, well, here goes Nana. Ew, that sketch.
What do you mean? Nana's supposed to be on my side.
Well, she's on my side. I don't know what to tell you.
This is not fair. Not fair. Both my mods on your side.
Well, know your place. You had a long thought about it, but when you ended up doing your brother's piercer, I knew that'd be safest. I know this woman very well too. She's spiritually as well, and vibes me so well, so I can calm and relax, even with my needle phobia. Good, good, good. That's good. I missed you guys too, and I really did. You were told round 2 you weren't. It was fine. Just confusing. Yeah. You did a charcoal peel-off mask? Oh my god. Was it any good? I hear peeling it off is a little painful, though. That's what people complain about. But I think your skin must feel really nice. Lee, welcome in. Thank you for the 3 streaks. I'm just trying to say, I'm glad that I'm back. Lee, thank you for the streak. Nana, enjoy your daily doggo treat. Thank you for the 6. The blackhead were pulling out, all gone. You had some tears, yeah, that's what I hear. That is painful as hell. But your skin is gonna be all nice and radiant now. It feels nice and smooth. Exactly. That's good. That's what it's that's worth. Nose was the worst part. It hurt. I think I remember seeing like a video. Holy hell. It was needed. Yeah, it was due. Yeah, that makes sense. How has everyone been, Yes. Bye, James. Enjoying 2v8? Or is everybody on 1v4? What's the tea? Where did Dwight go? I want to heal him. Oh, I found Dwight. He's over there. And we have another trapper. I save you! I don't save you. Who am I kidding? Oh! Oh shit, I die. Oh, this is... Ha 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 ha! Oh! The trap is back, guys! I've got a problem! No! Hold on. Dwight's back up. He's safe. He's safe. He's safe. Step in a trap! What? Nah! Are you kidding me? There's no way. We're gonna have to test it. The fuck? You're not playing anything yet? You played 2v8 a lot over the past days, but now waiting for your PS4. Oh, I'm so dead. To install. Hold on. A game. Oh, a game. Just a game. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Lots of TVA. Joined a couple of friends last night that I haven't played DVD in ages. I had a lot of fun. Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad it's been a good one. Yeah, my games today were trash. Like, nobody was on gens. Like, literally. I was the only one doing gens, and I was like, yeah. Just die. Okay, I should be able to walk over this because Blight can. Huh. Fuck that, bro. Hello? Pallet save? Lady? Man. Your girlfriend wanted to play? Oh, Hogwarts Legacy? Nice. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo Simulator. I started it. I didn't get very far. But it's a nice game. The experience of it is very calming. You have it on PC and on PS4? I think I only have it on PC. I got it when it was free on Epic. A few months back. Yo, the PC one's fully finished, the game? I see. That makes sense. Such a good game. Sandbagging. Tee. Oh. Oh! Nah. Oh, this is GG's. Yeah. Lucky. GG's. Man, I'm an absolute two-tap today. It's not good. I still have scrims later. I have a tournament this weekend. The Unity in the Fog tournament, the community tournament from our friends Christy and Hannah and Mousy. What house did I go for? I think Ravenclaw. I'm not sure, and you start a Hufflepuff? Nice. Is there like in-game? Does it affect? Does it affect the game? Which house you choose? Like, is there different results? Like different challenges based on your house? Oh, huh? How the hell did we get our... How the hell did we get our killer game so fast? It said 7 minutes.
Even the queue says like 7 or like 8 minutes, it just goes instantly. It's
Okay.
weird, I don't get it either.
Yeah, I mean, fine.
When's the last time you played Nemesis? Was it during 2v8?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I played 2v8 with Shella last week, right? But yeah, it was trash. So get ready to do some carrying.
Unfortunately enough, Thwack to carry this time around.
You're gonna have to carry me.
Me carrying, as long as I don't get into the map, I should be okay.
What do you mean, as long as you don't get an indoor map? You're gonna have to carry me, period.
What do you mean up? You think I can do shit without PD on Billy? What do you think this is?
Well, it's gonna have to happen.
Oh, Jesus.
It does. Ravenclaw's last quest? I didn't think so. Oh, you're doing Slytherin next? Oh, that's cool. Okay, that is nice. It keeps you going even though you feel like you've finished, right? Okay. GG. Okay, I can
Not
do
terrible.
this. Not terrible.
Let's go.
Look at him zoom in. He's on to something, guys. Look at him.
Another over there, I guess.
Good teamwork.
I can't find anyone, so I was like, let's just finish cages. I can't find anyone.
Was there no one in that corner? The diagonal? Oh yeah, there is now because I'm
No.
watching the zombie.
I didn't see them when I went over there. Hello, Meg.
Your character is Rosemary Sprout, very witchy? I like that. That's so creative. Oh man. I am a flop.
You lucky motherfucker.
Come on. Beautiful. Great.
Yes.
I'm so tired.
No good.
Well,
My kids are flying.
yeah. That's what you get when you play killer with me. Oh my god.
That's fine.
Nice.
What was that noise, Nancy?
Thank you for the lurk, Hex. I hope you're enjoying Pragmata. It was nice hanging out earlier. I appreciate you keeping me tab. Thank you, thank you. The end boss was a hard fight? I mean, that's what it's supposed to be.
I can't actually. Oh, yeah. There we go.
Nice, down.
They got near me. I love Shadow. Maybe also maybe kill someone. That happened.
Let them cry about a tunnel real quick. See?
Partial scams. Hello. You good over there?
Played on the hard mode straight for the first time? Really? Were you committed like that? Loved collecting the animals? Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
What?
Hmm.
Hey, yeah, we're here.
Puzzles? Oh yeah, that's the problem with me. I don't like puzzling too much. If it's too hard, I don't want to know. Where was this survivor when I wanted to do my first chase? Like, holy hell.
Gotta get off them.
That Sable is not a juicer. I can tell you that much.
Not in the top of this corner. I'm leaving over there. I'll go check gens.
Cool. I'm back by the gens to check. Blast mine. Hi Dahlia, welcome in, how are you?
This.
Okay. Fuck me, I guess.
Feel like just a nick of time.
Okay. You're happy you're doing pretty good? Wonderful. I'm glad to hear, Dahlia. How is your week going?
Right, my collision sometimes.
I'm sad I lost the Sable. 'Cause she's a flop. Nice medium.
Nice.
I knew she was still there. So annoying. Yes, fuck off, bitch. Out you go.
Oh, the Rockwell game, Jesus.
It's because I don't get downs. It's just taking too long.
No, don't worry about it, it's fine. Play one more game
I mean,
again,
I
so-
literally don't know what else to play. Like, I have nothing going on.
You can
Play
play Wraith if you
Wesker.
want to.
Nah, I'm
Or,
shit on Wraith. I play Wesker, I don't know.
Wesker Gaming.
Mm. Fix Wesker for 2v8? I mean, I don't know about fix, but he's back. Have you tried your hand at Huntress? Yes. It's probably the next best thing. Honestly, I think power-wise Dracula maybe, but I'm gonna get confused between the wolf and the fucking bats and all that shit. It's gonna be a problem. Why? I got pushed off of Torchbearer, man. Guess I'm a scout. You're out board gaming, just popping in. I have no sounds, but hi, friends. Dahlia, thank you so much for the 55
You want
stream
my
streak.
torch,
Let's go. No, I'm good. I'll
Sarah?
play scouts. I don't know.
How's your day been today, though? How are you?
We just had this. Yes, we just had this gamer. Like your spooky
Was it Leah?
zombies. Good. Meow. That there was a gamer that we have as a survivor now that was in our game when we were playing killer.
Is that the Leon? Yeah, I think I recognize the Leon.
Yeah.
Nigel, I recognize his name, yeah. Oh, Jesus.
You've had a great week so far. Nice. I'm good too.
Yeah,
I'm tired from
look at
from
his
London.
booty. Not Nick Cage booty, please, Nana.
It was a really good time. We had such nice weather. But I'm really happy to be back gaming and hanging out with all of you. Oh, guys, I forget. Scouts, okay. I guess I go to a chest, I don't know. London has one in the same sentence. Yeah, I know. It's been so good. Hi! Nice, W map. Well, that's unlucky, Leon. I must admit. That's an unfortunate situation. It's a miracle. It was so nice. You're on your way home from Nijmegen? What's that? Is that an Oni? Oh. Alright, key? I take this key. I open the chests. You helped a friend back up for moving? Oh my god, that's so nice of you. They must have been super happy with all the help. I love it when people help out. For moving. It's always so much work. Oh, Sketch got clocked. He was going for a beam save on the Leon. They're all getting clocked. You're gonna play Calls of the Lamb, Dahlia? That's gonna be a good time. Yeah, it's me and Sketch duoing until like 11 today. Because I have Scream after. Beam! Yes! I found a beam, I'm ready.
Alright, you'll get him, you'll get him. What beams you find? Can I steal it off you? Can I infect you?
No, you can't do that. I worked really hard for this beam. Oh shit. I'm gonna get clocked. It's happening. What is this tile, y'all? I don't think he knows where I am. Ha. Let me make this pallet. This is important. So, my fucking in-game settings are still set to Xbox buttons, and it's annoying the crap out of me.
How's that still like happening? You got that?
Yeah?
Oh my god, you're
Tee!
cracked.
At least now they know I'm cracked on Survivor, and I'm just really bad at Killer.
Hello, Mr. Oni. You follow me or you gonna kick my chin again?
I don't think I've ever blinded a Chucky before. Oh, well, I won't this time either. Because she didn't pick.
Okay, Oni springs. Is he only got bad things? doesn't. Why is he swinging from that far then? I'm scared.
It's kind of cold for an iced coffee. And expensive, better not to. Do I get myself Starbucks? It's so expensive, Dahlia. I need to go. You've been obsessed with it since you got the DLC? Nice. You brew full pots of coffee every day so I can stay loaded with iced coffee in the mornings. Oh my god, that's such good prep and good thinking, Nana. Are you in danger? Yes. Oh my god, there's an Oni there. I don't know where to aim, guys. Where do you aim when you're trying to blind a Chucky? Let me ask Sketch. How do I blind Tiffany?
There's like a shadow that forms when he picks up. You run at the top of the shadow, basically. On top of like, the figure.
Like as if they're eyes of the shadow was what you're aiming at. Not the Chucky.
Be, yeah, not the Chucky.
Okay. The spirit body. You gotta bind the shadow, not the doll? Okay, that's helpful. I have a special tumbler I use every day. Oh my god, you're so prepared. Oh, fine. You've grabbed a blanket, it's chilly outside? It is a bit. It's a bit chilly inside even. I put on a... Can you heal me, bitches? Yeah, they're upset I didn't take the hit for the... Yeah, you can go to hell now, bitch. They're upset that I didn't take the hit for the... Nia. No. Gamer, that's not how we roll. You didn't want to heal me? That's okay, I'll go do something else. I have a life to live, you know? I'm not gonna wait forever. Yeah, they're upset about me not taking a hit for the Nia, but I did not know that the Tiffany was right there. Okay, that's fine. I decided no snackies for the train ride. You have snackies at home? Good. Good call, Dahlia. Is it a long train ride? Sketch was on the greenhouse gym. An hour? Okay, that's a long train ride still. I'm glad we get to hang out though. Let me go heal this Nia. Because I'm an adult, unlike some people. Because I can nap and listen to her lovely voice. Aw, I'll try to remember not to scream. Look at cracked gameplay. Cracked gameplay. I mean, that beam safe was kind of hot. How many killers are there over there? Just the one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I left. Well, GG's. At least one, yeah. I mean, if they were both there, it would have been potentially a problem. Is Arella's blouse supposed to be open like this? Hello? She's showing all kinds. They're still in the game. I'm moving on. I have no time for this. Gamers, we're going to run a quick ad break. We're going to run it now before we go into the next game, so you don't have to miss anything. Please bear with. I apologize for the ads. You've been playing a couple of matches with Sven, and every time we play Survivor, because we're waiting for killer, all the killers want you. Nah, they know you're a juicer. You have comp experience now, Dahlia. That's it. They know. Oh, they overfocus Sven, and you do 4 gens. I mean, that's the way to do it. Sven's a good gamer, no? He's good at Survivor. Correct, if you will. Oh, guys, I got my 5 million. I got my 5 million BP earlier today, and I put everything in Talita. So we have Talita P80 now. So she'll stay here until anniversary. Sven is very correct. Yeah, I knew that. I think the next 10 mil has to go into Dwight. We'll get him P60. Then we'll have to get Megan P80. And then we take it from there. What's next? Who's going to be your P100? Yeah, so it's Talita and Megan are the highest. So Talita's 80 and she's ready for anniversary. Megan is P70 now. And Dwight is 50. So that's kind of like the planning. P100 Huntress and then you and Jin. Excellent choices. How far is Huntress? I know you've been playing a fair bit of Huntress. P14, let's go. Let's go. Still a baby. P14 is good though. Yeah, we're supposedly 6 weeks away from anniversary. Nah, 7. We're expecting it to be mid-June. Bro, I'm not even gonna get enough blood points to do all the prestiges I want. I suppose maybe I just go for Megan then. Get my 2 P80s so we can get 2 P100s. It's not going to be earlier than that, Dahlia. Because the DVD anniversary party is June 14. And I have 0 trust that they're going to be holding the anniversary before that party. Go 2 weeks in July. You got 2 weeks in July. Hey yo, Gecko. Hello.
Oh yay, that sounds interesting, gamer.
It sounds
Gecko
interesting.
Boy TTV
Anniversary
subscribed
sounds
to your
interesting.
channel for 2 months.
Long time no see, gamer. I hope you're well. You can't play 2 weeks in July. Yeah, but then the earlier it is in June, oh, the more chance you have to play, no, Dahlia? Gecko, thank you so much for the 2 months, 2nd month sub. Wait. Thank you for the sub. I think is what I'm trying to say. Full-time jobs. Yes, I know, I know. Enjoy the ad reviewing the free emotes, the sub badge, and of course the channel point multiplier. How have you been, gamer? What are you gaming these days? Every other week you can play? Yeah. Yeah, so mid-June wouldn't even be that bad for you. Oh. Well. You are playing DBD? I do not believe you, Gecko. I do not believe you. How are you enjoying it? Are you on the 2v8 or the regular? Grind that new PPS offering? Yes, if it's there, gamers. If it's there, I hope they do a 10-year cake, right? But there's no way to know for sure. I hope they do because we gotta grind. Shift tab. Oh, you're on a 2v8? Of course, 2v8 is just better. Solo queuing killer? Are you meeting some nice people though? Wait, that gen is like almost done. Did she get it? Oh man. That sucks. Zombie value, yo. Oh. That is very unlucky. Oh my god, that is very unlucky. Yeah. Nice medium. Love to see it. I actually met some fun sables. Nice. Going around on Billy. Ah, good, Gecko. That's good. Just good. You should have some fun. Billy gaming is great. I just wish the chainsaw was slightly less round. The zombies make inner maps a nightmare. They do. Right. Bro, why am I running into a fucking blight? I'm looking for a gen here. You play Undetectable Billy, best jump scares? Yes, 100%. That's the way to go. People are just like chilling somewhere and then BAM! Chainsaw to the face. It's good gaming. Oh my god, Talita, behave yourself. She's just following me around, I don't know. Let me go save a life, hold on. Oh. I don't think he's following her. If I'm completely honest. There's a gen upstairs, I'll go there. Yeah, a moth to my TwitchCon shirt, I don't know. Might make it new main. No more Ghosty. Ghosty shouldn't be your main anyway. Anyway, Gecko. Ghosty's awful. Okay. I don't know if we make this, honestly. It's been your image as you started playing, but it was a mistake, Gecko. That's what I'm saying. But it's never too late to make some changes, right? You can redeem yourself and be Billy Main. I can accept that. People are eating tasty smelly food on their train, and now you do want snackies? No, was it the wrong choice? How's it going? You're not safe, are you? No.
I got both Nemo and the Blight on me.
Are they, Ah, you get hooked? Okay, I save you.
Yeah, I'm getting hooked. There's a green thing if you want to green another green thing like outside by the pallet. Green
It's
thing's
too
still on
dangerous. I'll get you when we escape. The back door is ready. Oh, they're
there.
coming.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, they're a little bit on their way.
Don't worry, I'll be the. Or both over here, I guess. How about you?
Where's that?
Okay, they're dead, so we should be okay.
Yeah, that gamer's dead as hell. Can we take hits for this girl?
There's someone here.
I'm hearing like chase music.
Blight's here, but
Oh.
I think everyone's out.
Oh.
I'll
Oh, the tea bags.
It's a blight.
Oh, that was the last. Okay, we made it. GG's.
It is. Well played, well played.
It was not a mistake on my part. I was a huge fanboy and scary movie, but it's about to change. Okay. That's good. Then it's okay. Thank you for the lurk refresh, Granny. I have a feeling you rated out because apparently I'm on Smita. Oh, that's Jax. Oh, you're still alive. Cool. You think snacking is also a big source of dopamine? Summer brain just loves it. Hey, you don't have to tell me. I know all about that. Look what I have left over from the tournament. Flugels. We got cases of them. We bring them to the UK. This also makes me... That wasn't me, Niklas. That wasn't me. Look at the VOD. It was the other Talita. She was not with me, and you'll hear both me and my duo saying, why are we teabagging at the exit gate? We don't do that. GG, well played. That was a random that was not with us. We do not engage in such practices. But, yes, GG's. I hope your games are going well. I hope 2v8 is treating you to good blood points and good games. I prefer Survivor over Killer, but with duoing it's nicer if you can play some Killer, right? The teabag is weird and uncalled for? Yes, we do not appreciate them here. Yeah, I don't know what it was needed for. I think it was a good game. From your side was good. I think at the end it was good. Survivors came together to save the last few to get everyone out. I think it was a good game. RPD with zombies was unlucky, but that's got nothing to do with you. That's just Nemesis things. Yeah, you're not part of the jury. I just want to add 2 cents. Well, it was appreciated nonetheless, Dahlia. Okay. I do not have a lot of Wesker gameplay in my pocket.
Don't worry, don't worry. Like you're Wesker juicer, so you'll be good with him.
What annoys me about Wesker is the swing with the knife is the other way around. Because when they're with the axe and like Billy and stuff, they go like from top, like from right to left, and Wesker is left to right, and it always confuses me.
I know what you mean. Let's lock in.
All right, Gecko, have a
You got
good
this, don't
game.
worry.
Thank you for the lyric. We'll spin the wheel for your resub. Sorry, sketch. Lock in, lock in. Okay.
You got dead dog. The dead dog saloon. And the dumping of things.
I don't even know what class this is.
I think you're on brute if I saw.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. That's the one with the kind of
it's
like the
brutal
exploding.
And the exploding gens too. It's like brutal strength. If you kick a gen, it traps it. I think that's the one, right?
Yeah.
Hello, V.
Who's here? I hate that. Stupid swing the wrong way.
Okay. Stay in here. And that way. You're so lucky I don't have overdrive anymore.
Damn.
Way too greedy. Go on.
I'm getting stuck on things. Oh, I almost had her, guys. Swing! Come on.
Hey, why are we vaping over here? I'm leaving you. I want to go see if I can snipe some people.
Oh, there's no one here. No one here. Last mine.
Oh, then one.
Why can't...
Let's deal with your question.
I bumped into a rock and then for some reason I couldn't use my second charge.
If you're too close to the charge, it won't charge a second time.
Okay.
I don't know how it works exactly. Like, really not.
Holy, way too far. Yeah, this is miserable too. This is just as miserable. Good teamwork though.
I'll pick you up.
Oh yes, I got one!
Nice, let's go.
See you dead.
Bring everything in its table. I don't know what that idea was, Sable.
Oh, no mind games. Nothing, just a pre-drop. Oh, that's not where the hole is. Oh, okay. Hold on.
That doesn't hate you? I'm gonna body block with your free DT. I think I won't go for you again.
Yes! Look at me go.
Nice.
You're merely postponing
Ja,
the
det var
inevitable.
det kan det ta ifrån om det fällde med.
Oh, if I only had my egg. If only I had my egg. Lara, out of your way. Oh, never mind. Beautiful. Good teamwork.
I'm sorry, bud.
Oh!
Yeah.
I almost had the Sheva.
Oh, you got the healing thingy. I see, I see. It doesn't break the pallet, okay. Gotta leave you, I can't go for you. Is that what you need? Chainsaw brewer? Yeah. I love chainsaw. They're doing main.
Oh, they're
fuck them.
cranking, man. Oh, nice.
Okay. What are you gonna do? Damn, you make that. It's
I was
unfortunate.
kind of waiting for them to jump down, but they didn't.
I didn't know.
Milkman Billy, that's him. Goated.
Milkman Billy. I think things on the floor. What she got?
You will not.
So not much. I actually from to shank him. Since the dress.
Someone's on a chest over there.
This I've lost mine. Yeah, there's a new update since today. They had like a new update like late today to fix some things that were bugged. Were you locking us up, man? Are you kidding me?
Oh, come on. That was really wide, gamer. Oh, and I just whiffed that. That's fine. God damn it.
Hello.
Oh.
Over here.
Don't know how this works. Ugh, I'm tired, man. Tired of this shit. Mistakes were made. You're so sad to say you ran into a script failure bug that was fatal in your final fight against Wesker in RE5? Really?
The building is open. Get behind main now. It's open over here too. Ah, you're coming back in.
That's unlucky. You had to restart the last chapter and you're stuck on a super fucky. Oh no, super sucky fights. Shit.
I just had BT. I don't have a teabagging game. Ah, Jesus. GG's. I played the plate.
GG's.
My chat has requested me I play Trapper, so it's
Okay.
not go terribly.
Ugh. I take Nemi again, just because the zombies can chase them into traps. I don't know.
The zombies are pretty decent. Pretty good. I will be right back then.
Yeah. What is this lobby music? Comes with the skin, but I did not order that. You punched the boulder too quickly and the Wesker never took any damage again. Oh no, I mean... Shit, Chris. Boulder punching Redfield. Shit, that is so unlucky. Thank you, Azrai, for cheering me on. I appreciate it. I fucking hate playing killer, man. I don't know how people do it. I just get so frustrated. Also, I'm just so bad at it. I just don't understand how to do it. I just don't understand.
Attention Alien Army, we do have a raid incoming.
Hey yo, Morty! No way! Thank you so much for the raid! Welcome in, how's your games? I was lurking earlier. You were live when I was on the train from work.
Morimorana _
Hi,
rated your channel with
Twisted.
19 viewers.
Dennis, good to see you. How are your games, Maury? Chaotic Fox Tuber on the hunt. Maury's been streaming a lot of DVD lately, serving up some spicy 2v8s, action and crime scene vibes. They're a bilingual gremlin who swears like a sailor and loops killers for fun. Road to 300, let's go! Gamers, if you don't follow Maury, please go check her out. Drop a follow. Wonderful, wonderful fellow DVD content creator. We recently met through Mochi. Absolutely crack gamer, even though she denies it. But it was wonderful playing Survivor with her. Welcome in, gamers. Good to see you. If you don't know who I am, my name is MVP. The M stands for Micah. I'm an official Dead by Daylight partner, content creator with the in the creator program. I'm a Survivor main. I have 18 P100s. I love playing Dead by Daylight. And when I'm not playing DVDs, you can find me dog
Twisted
sitting, cat
Tested
sitting,
followed your
and I work at a
channel.
horse's stables. Welcome in. Hi Jill, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you for the 63 treats. It was rough today. You got some good flashy saves, which made me happy. Good, good, good. How are your games going? It's very similar. It's rough today. I feel like our Survivor games are rough, but our killer games are just as rough. Oh, laggy. Oh shit, bro. I have nothing here. Nice, GG. I'm good. I was in London over the weekend. I just got back late last night. I'm still a little bit tired, but I'm really happy to be back. We literally have 5 people on hook, by the way. What a throw. I shall be lurking. See you later. Alright, Dahlia. Thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna raid around, have fun though. Twisted, thank you so much for stopping by. And thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate your support for the channel. Welcome in. And enjoy your daily doggo treat. Thank you for the treat. Unlucky. My gameplay is trash today, Jill. It's absolute trash. I'm 2-tap against fucking Blight every fucking time. You got a clip you need to show you of the endgame chat? Are you still in the Discord or you want to DM it to me? Either is fine. How was your game? Did you play some more Billy? Warm up. I've been playing since like 3 p.m. Yeah, it's really miserable today. Maury, thank you so much for taking your community here. I really appreciate it. I heard him. I understand if you need to raid and run. Yeah, sorry to hear your games were rough. I'm having the exact same experience, but you gotta find your fun, right? Maybe you get a beam save or two. Errors were made, guys. Look. Well, like, what am I even doing? Like, get me out of this game. Like, I don't know. Just wanted to say that I really need to get some food in, so I'll be lurking. Yes, go get your food, Maury, and thank you so much. They didn't like your Billy? Oh shit, you got an 8K? Oh, let's go. Hi Loft, how are you? I want you to want me for all that I am. Well, I don't think you want this game where I am just like absolute trash. Getting better though? You moved to Billy for 3 gens? You are a very good Survivor gamer. I already said this to you, so it doesn't surprise me at all, Maury. How is the Rivals, Loft? I saw you were hopping on the Rivals earlier. I'm not nosy at all. Get me out. Just get me out. Marvel Rivals. My duo Loftus was playing Marvel Rivals earlier. You're a white folks art? Really? I mean, it's a good gamer. When we were playing, when we were 6-stacking with the Die for Cheese, I saw Georgie on White Fox and I was like, okay, I see this. It's interesting. Send me the clip. Cool. Oh. You're a bot. You can only tunnel and camp. Billy, you like me? You all the time following me? There's 8 people. Find a job. Find a job? Oh my god, they got really upset with you, Gecko. I already had someone wish death upon people today in endgame chats. Over 1v4, 3 men out, by the way. Like, I don't understand what's wrong with people these days. Wait, Sketch is waiting for me. Also, Gecko, while we were here, we will spin the wheel for your resub. Thank you so much for your support. Larry, thank you for the shout outs. If I didn't say it before, my brain's not braining. You're good. Thank you so much for hanging out, taking your community here. You're getting used to the way she plays, she supports, so it can help. Dive the backline. I heard! Oh my god! Alize! Thank you so much for the raid! Welcome in!
Elise from Hell rated your channel with 40 viewers.
How was your stream? Welcome in, everyone. Hi, Georgia. House of Hell is here. Hello, let's go. How is DBD? Alize from Hell is back from the fog, bringing their killer main energy, or killer main energy. We know it's killer main energy. I just read it wrong. To the stream, they're all about the DBD life, whether it's slaying as killer or surviving with style. I know that style. I know all about that. Expect plenty of laughs, good vibes, and maybe a few oops, I did it again moments. Alice, thank you so much for taking your community here. How are your games? You losing your mind on this game? I know. Us too. Us too. It's been rough out here today. Welcome in. Gamers, if you came in with the raid with Alice and you don't know who I am, my name is MVP. The M stands for Micah. I'm primarily a Dead by Daylight content creator. I'm an official creator with behavior. I love playing Dead by Daylight. I'm a survivor main. I have 18 P100s. And when I'm not playing DBD, you can find me cat sitting, dog sitting. I work at a horse's stables. Welcome in, everyone. The games weren't bad at all, but DBD during 2v8 is something. Feels like such a chore. Yeah, have you used the option to play Survivor while you wait for a killer game on 1v4? Because that's kind of cool, right? Glitch glasses, by the way. Thank you so much for the resub, Gecko. We're playing with the glitch glasses for you. I can't see for shit. Holy hell. Everybody wants a piece of me, guys. Yeah, it's too bad that, hold on 1 second.
Have you seen the diabolical ping of our killers? They're gonna go grab from 10 miles.
No, I don't really check ping. What is it? 140 ping on Wesker. Love to see
And
it.
70 ping on Nerd.
Oh god.
Left on angle.
Oh. She's gonna kick it, isn't she? Yeah, that's mine though. Oh. No, it was a flashbang. I heard a Wesker, I think. I don't know. Oh yeah, I think it was, they were both there. Yeah, they were both here. I forget that you shouldn't be doing that. I just die. By the way, I got same map as you and Billy. Dead Dog. Oh, our last killer game was on Dead Dog. That's a good map though. I like the idea, but it is also a bit of a drag when you're switched between the two instead of saying, yes, I was wondering about that, Alice. I just want normal killer Q back. You miss her. Yeah. That's really a very big problem with 2v8 because it's such a good game mode and people love it. But the fact that it's so long and they bring it back so often and it's affecting the killer queue times so much. Wait, is this where I have no eyes. Oh, we're by main. Okay. I don't know why I thought I was by Shaq. Is anyone coming for you? Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, they got me, don't worry. We're out in case.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like the maps are on rotation. Like, I could be loading into a game and I'm watching a streamer and we're both on the same map. And it's like, how the hell did we both get the same map? In different games? Like... Baby Dwight. It's not so Baby Dwight anymore, Gecko. He's P50. Alex, enjoy your daily doggo treat. Thank you for the treat. Thank you for the redeem. Thank you so much for taking your community here. I really appreciate it. I'll be lurking. Alright, go chill. Mwah! Mwah! I use this toolbox. Yeah, my baby, oh my god, I got yoinked. My baby Dwight is not a baby Dwight anymore, it's Pete 50. Code? Alright, thanks, Alize, for sharing. Bro, I got yeeted off that fucking gen, bro. Yoinked. I got yoinked off a gen, man. By nurse, it was miserable.
They're just both going around together for the most part, it seems like. They're holding hands. Both with their ping from their mask ping. Wearing a holding hands.
I need to remember where I see these green fucking herbs.
Yeah, I forget to see them. I forget to like think about where they are all the time as well. Bruh. Wesker, time to like fix up the pink. There's
Yes.
let's go. Cracked. So I crawl away from the wall.
Yes. Yeah. I saw you crawling and he tried to pick you up right away and I was like, oh shit, if he licks that wall, I can't save you.
Oh my god, fucking. Oh my god, it's ping.
Yeah, it's unlucky.
Put it in the bin. Put him in the bin.
Jen is dead too. Unbelievable. Oh, that was nice. I got a speed boost.
That speed boost was good, yeah.
Yeah. She
know,
still
so
wants
many.
me. No. Did she change to you? Shit, gamer.
She wants me.
No, she changed,
Alright.
she changed, she changed.
She want you again.
Yeah, well, I made a mistake. I made several mistakes. Leaving me. Oh shit, because of you! Acro pallet. You get me, you get me, you get me. Who's this? Yes, let's go!
The strongest KO I've ever seen.
For real. Except for Cowie. Cowie is a very strong Kate.
Cowie is good. She on you
Oh
again.
my god, I'm running into a Wesker.
No.
What? What in the world did I just get pinned on? Excuse me? Look at this! There's nothing there!
His invisible wall that he placed there with his ping.
Ugh.
Oh, that's great.
When I said baby Dwight, I meant like standard Dwight, no cosmetics? Okay, okay, okay. I got that, I got that. He pinned you on his hopes and dreams. I mean, I've never complained about being pinned by Wesker to anything but just thin air. Like, hello? What was that? Sketch is dead as hell, by the way. Do you want to do another Survivor game?
Hey, it's up to you. I don't mind.
Yeah, let's go. Let's just go again.
Yes, go then.
I have to play Dwight, by the way.
Of course, strong Dwight. You gotta pull him out.
Baby Dwight. There he is.
Yeah, I'll play Baby Dwight with you.
I put my charms on.
Showing off the Twitch charms, though.
Yeah.
You got, you gotta have the Twitch charms.
I'm hungry for something sweet. Let's see if I can order something. My husband's gonna yell at me.
What about a jawbreaker? What
No.
about a jawbreaker?
No.
What do you know? This can be sweet. This can be sweet. You never know.
It could,
the
but the
apple
only
one,
one
the
that I
apple
have
one.
left is the sour raspberry. So no, thank you.
I'm still terrified for like I'm gonna get the worst ones when I actually like do jawbreaker with that TwitchCon. I'm gonna get the worst ones. I'm calling it
Maybe.
in. Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
What are you ordering? What are we thinking?
No, I tried pancakes, but everything that serves pancakes is closed. I don't know.
What about what about like a waffle? You know, like a good waffle.
Yeah.
Or some ice cream.
I don't know that we can. Yeah, but ice cream I have to order like a pizza first, and then you can like also order ice cream with it. You know.
Can you not order like pizza on its own?
Just the ice
Not
cream.
pizza. Like you order ice cream, just ice cream. Yeah.
I don't think they come to deliver for just ice cream.
It's Whiskers again. And Nemi, I'm already being double teamed. Get away!
Nah, they are
5 seconds in.
attacking the baby Dwights.
Yeah. Sorry, why you're running here?
There's no sound for that. There's just no sound
Oh my
for
god.
that.
Nemesis is on 28 ping again.
Oh my god.
At least West gonna be simping.
Yeah, I'm just miserable. We had 2 gens that were so close to being done over there. This is not gonna be good. Where am I gonna go?
Get in there now. So,
I'm getting double teamed again.
oh
GG.
no. I love the double teams this time around. I love it. It's genuine, I think.
Hello.
Hello. Two default week stuck on the gem.
Minding their own business.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's see if I can find a green tonic for you. Then left.
I mean, it's fine. They're just 2 gens. Oh.
Look who's here. Big boy Nemo. What is happening over here?
I don't know why he saw me, honestly.
Oh, where are you? Let me come out.
Main. Nice. Beautiful.
They get double team my Sandra as well. Oh no.
Nah, he's on
Still
me.
you.
Oh, yeah, double team. Unlucky. No.
No, you said the wrong way. Are you only on one? You only have one shot. No. I'm not dead yet.
No, one more hook, right?
Yeah. Video. Oh. Nice. And get the touristy Steve.
Good chase.
I tried.
Found some dark chocolate. It will have to do.
What'd you say?
I found some dark chocolate.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
I always prefer milk chocolate, to be fair. But then dark chocolate's probably my second favorite. I'm the biggest fan of
Yeah.
white chocolate.
Nah,
but-
me neither. Are you training to Rotterdam for TwitchCon?
Am I doing what?
Taking a train.
Yeah.
What
It's this
day?
way. I'm leaving Friday. Like I'm arriving Friday
Ooh.
in Rotterdam, hopefully.
Yay!
So I'm staying there for the whole weekend until Monday. I'm leaving at Monday, like
Good.
Friday. I'm going
Yeah,
back.
good idea.
Just like a bit of a long weekend for me.
Mm-hmm. Wait, I should have done that. Let me check.
What should you done? Like
No, I might check out Sunday. What's dumb as
I
fuck.
can't be asked. I'm able to just like sleep in late and just
Yeah,
go easy on the train back on Monday.
yeah,
So I did last time and I came.
yeah,
so
better.
Just simple.
Mm-hmm.
Could have a long day on Sunday and I can just sleep in until like Monday till like 10 and take the train back when I feel like it.
Mm-hmm. There's people in a gen here. Well, guess it doesn't work like that.
So I'm ruining Michaela's
Okay, well, I guess I don't want to win. It's fine.
Michaela's already nodding at me?
Maybe she likes bear trappers. Like, haha.
Nice, got a trap, nice. I'm being followed. No. I'm being bullied very hard over here. As long as he's got your back though. Jake know. No, you attack through here. Grab this off. Where we going? Got the play of eat.
Nice. The amount of people that have already fallen in the
On then.
traps is beautiful.
Good job, Michaela. Michaela. I'm trying to bully me over here, but it's not really working. You doing good over there? Need some help?
Nah. It's fine.
Nice. Hi, Sable. Hi, Jake.
Hi, Jay.
Nice.
Doesn't look like they're here. Oh.
Also, a trap. Oh, there's someone at the now, I think. How dare you?
This trap is
Yeah, okay,
active
let's
now.
see
It's
back in.
not unlucky.
Sure they
That
stepped in.
Michaela is very vocal from the beginning, no?
Yeah, she was a bit. Just stepped in the travelers now. Good one, buds. Good one.
Yes!
What do you think you're doing? Richard should be dead unless you got a green tonic. He's dead. There's like 5 of them over here.
Oh yeah. Oh, this one again.
There are some traps. Just 2 of them by side and by main. Over
Yeah,
here.
there's one
They're running.
coming towards main.
Let me go for Jill because she's injured. Nice. Ooh. Pick something like traps. Get out. The big boy now is just smacking her through the window. He's just silly. Nice. Yeah, I think you should be paying attention. I'll be honest. Table.
Nice trap. The traps are working pretty well.
They are, yeah, they are. See? Yeah, Jacob's also a trap mate.
Funny. I almost stepped in a trap.
You can't step on them, you can't step on them.
Oh, that's why. Okay, cool.
You can just run through them, yeah.
Perfect. There's a Yui to your left.
No? Oh yeah, over here. This is trap Yui.
That's right. Enjoy your Deli Doggo treat. Thank you for the redeem. Teamwork.
Love a bit of teamwork.
Thank you for the 6. Yeah, I don't mind teamwork.
Love teamwork.
Hmm.
I'll trap that. Are they over here?
Okay, come in.
I think so. No, they're not. Never mind. So they were. Don't worry about it.
Oh!
Oh.
Beautiful.
That's the ones over here with them. I know when they're not. Maybe.
I lost the Sable. No one's on gens, bro.
Yeah, no, they're not doing gens right now. Maybe main. I've not checked main in a while. And some of there's a zombie.
Yeah, there's a
like,
zombie
waiting for
upstairs
someone.
now.
Ah, they're over here. Hello. I don't know why you're trying to still loop this. Like, I've trapped it. You can't loop anymore, Hello, David.
Well played. Well
Never can
played.
pay off if you set up traps all at the beginning.
Oh, the medium. I could have gone for the M1. Your traps are elite, gamer.
Crazy.
Hi, Cincy. Welcome in. How are you? How was your K? It was good.
Like 3 of them fighting in this corner.
It was a pity that I couldn't play. Because I'm injured, right? I couldn't play my hockey games. But the weather was so nice, so I just sat outside. I had my drink. I watched all the games from the sideline as good people.
Yeah, I've got ears chain now. I can still hear you walking around.
I'm still so
Even
tired,
if you
but
blind me.
it was a really good time. Thank you for asking. How's the injury? It's not been good. I thought... Oh my god. I thought I was okay. Like, this Sable thinks that she's okay. She's not. She's really not okay.
Nice. There's only 4 of them left.
And, it's really taken a hit. It's not ready yet. I did some exercise, but it was
Somebody's
too
just
soon
fucking
still.
over here.
So I need to take it easy.
David.
Your
Daily
trap.
trap.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen such a successful trapper on 2v8. Like, holy hell.
I play Trapper quite often on stream because someone keeps asking to play like
Yeah, but
the
the
naughty bear
map
version.
is huge, and they're all on like gens. This
Quite
is
close one
really
match.
good results.
You took the other one. Oh, she's over here, I found her. Hello. Hello. She's waiting on the pallet if you can just...
Yeah, I'm there. Hello. Maury?
Oh, yeah, I'll go for it.
Oh man, that cannot be good for a person. Oh! Nasty.
I love the naughty bear Rory.
That was good, GG's. Nah, we pulled that back.
Yeah, we did, yeah. At the beginning, I was getting bullied than Michaela.
Oh
Like,
my
"Man,
god,
that's
yeah.
gonna go," but... Jeez. I do
Gamers,
have to
we're
go
gonna
for,
run
like,
a quick
15
ad
minutes now,
break.
so maybe play one game of Survivor, it's okay?
You have to take a break now?
Yeah, I'll take the
Oh,
break
yeah.
now for 15 minutes. I'll
Yeah,
go.
cool. I mean, it's fine. I'll play. I'm not playing killer, best believe.
Enjoy your Survivor game. I should be longer than 15 minutes.
Yeah, cool. I'll catch you in a bit. Gamers, we're gonna run a quick ad break. We're doing it now before we go into the next game, so you don't have to miss anything. Please bear with. I apologize for the ads. We're gonna play a Survivor game. Sketch needs to take a little breaky. Who are we playing? I think I was playing Talita. Yes, I was on the live. I remember it. I remember it well. Yeah, it will get better. It's a 6-week. It takes 6 weeks, right, to get to recover from a zweepslag. And this is week Thursday. It's 3 weeks, so I just need more time. Stinty, enjoy your daily doggo treat. Thank you for the 29. Can I join next? We're on 2v8 killer, Stinty, so I'm just playing one for before Sketch comes back, and we're queuing up duo killer. Otherwise, of course, you could have joined, but yeah, I'm just playing this one because Sketch needs to restart the stream, I think. Yeah. Have you been playing this weekend, Stunty? Enjoying the doggo treat as always? Excellent, excellent. What have you been up to? Do you miss scrims yet? Do you miss comp gaming? You miss it, to be fair? Yeah, I understand that. The text and the plans? Oh, man. Literally one hit and he's in power. Like, are you joking?
Days are numbered.
PV8 is nice. Oh, good. I've had a rough first week of 2v8, I have to say. It's not been the best of games. I feel like people aren't doing gens. And I'm like, well. Like, oh my god, like people are dying with 8 gens still left, 7 gens, and you're like, damn. Why is everybody just running? Killing opening chest? Yes. Yeah, and I can't even really be mad at them, but still, it's frustrating. Oh, he's got friends. Yeah, Nia's out, valid. I keep loading. I don't make this. That is so annoying. I keep loading in as Torchbearer, and I just. Oh my god, this boring ass fucking shit, bro. Yeah, she's done. I mean, valid. What is this gameplay? Like, you're just running. I don't know.
Delay the inevitable.
Can you give the flashbang to others? No, it's not something that you physically have in your hand. It's I think originally it did have that. When people were testing it, they saw that people were just making flashbangs and leaving them across the map, and then everybody had flashbangs. And then I think they realized that was not the way to go. So you kind of just have one, which you can use. Yes, you have to press a different button. Yeah, I don't know. I'm on controller, right? It's, I think it's like triangle for me. My stupid controller settings are still on Xbox, by the way. I tried to fix it today. I looked at least... Do we need to save this person? I looked at least 4 YouTube videos and instructions of how to change... my view back to PlayStation controller settings, and it's just giving me Xbox. Look how this says X for repair, and a PlayStation controller doesn't have X on it. And I everything on Steam is listed as PlayStation controller enabled, and it's still on Xbox. It's so annoying. Every time when I want to sprint my ass, I press R instead of F. So I drop my item on the ground in the killer's face? Yes. I understand that. I understand that. PlayStation has X. Yeah, but it's a different button. It's literally the one at the bottom, not the one on the left. How's he hitting these so fast? I just can't be asked. I don't even think about it anymore. It's just so dumb. Has he been playing the first and repeat for weeks? I mean, even if it's your first fucking time, it's free as hell. Have you booked TwitchCon, Stunty?
It begins.
You need to book? Yes, it's in 4 weeks. We need you there.
You cannot run.
You're just gonna go Sunday? Yes, fine. Look at the schedule. I don't know if the full program's been published yet. If there's a horror community meetup. Because obviously the last 2 years it was on Sunday, but like, who knows, right? I am 100% going for drinks on Saturday night. I just need to see who I can catch up with. Yay, we did 2 gens. Beautiful. Please slug for the 4K. Oh, I can abandon. I'm considering it. Yeah, you can join. That's great. That's really, really great. Well, we will make sure that you can tag along as well. Yeah, it's gonna be good times, Stunty. Okay, let's do it. You have to go by train? But you're going on a Saturday? Nice. You know I'll be there. Are you just going down for the day? Are you, like, taking the train in the morning, Anne? Oh, I don't want to play Talita, guys. I want to play Jin. Yeah? Oh, cool. You'll take your ass into a game? Alright, Stinty. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. And I look forward to hanging out at TwitchCon. I think Avian's there as well this Sunday. So we'll have a good time, just like last year. I wonder about the program and if there's already a horror meetup. I know that they've announced the meet and greets. Otz is gonna be there. I already met Otz. I played against you as a Vecna. Hey, GG's project. Well done. Good good play. I hope 2v8 is not too rough on you on your killer queue times. Well played. Program type. Community panel. No. Streamer network. Community meetup. They've only scheduled 2 Minecraft meetups. So we don't know if there is gonna be a horror community meetup. Chucky and Joyer, yes. Choose will be there. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be Sunday or Hello? Hello?
Hello, hello.
Hi. Sorry, I forgot.
Sorry about it.
Why is everybody slapping our asses?
Question should be why is not everyone doing it? It's the Wesker
Yeah, there's an enemy.
on the high pings again, that's alright.
Nah, I'm blaming you. This is your lobby.
I mean, this is my lobby, it's not my fault.
I'm blaming you, that's all I'm saying.
You're blaming me regardless. If the killer looks at you funny,
Oh!
you blame me.
Zombie. Yeah, Leo's coming, but he won't be at the con though. They'll be in Rotterdam. As far as I know.
Wait, Lel's coming to TwitchCon?
Yeah, but he won't be at the con. He's gonna be in Rotterdam.
Ah, okay.
He's just gonna hang out with Alizé. And some other folks. Nah! How is that not good? I thought it was good.
I think I did it a bit too far. Hey, Wesker. He's Shadow. He's a Shadow Wesker. Swing. No swing.
Oh man. I sent back to Steve so fast. It was bad. It was really bad.
Sandbagging people.
Yeah, it was really bad. It was quite ugly. What's with this guy? He needs to spray him.
Spray. He's smelly.
Can't wait to see your friends. I'm so glad that you're coming. Ooh, hiccups.
That's not his eyes, okay. I know he's wearing shades, game, but please.
Oh shit. Blast mine. I hate that I can't be sneaky when I kick a gen.
So we're doing Wesker cancelling our power.
Robbed on the flashbang? I think so. Oh, there's a zombie coming. Someone your end. I want to stick this gen. Oh my god, there's a Wesker here.
Should have enough time. Oh.
Are you kidding me right now?
I was say you should have enough time to stick your gen and come over.
He just walked through the zombie, by the way. Aren't they supposed to be body blocking shit? The fuck?
No, that's not good, is it? Red Nemesis.
You have two cats on your lap? I have a Wesker again. I saw kittens today, and 9 years old. 9 years? I'm too tired. 9 days. 9-day-old baby cat.
Nemi, leave me alone, dudes.
They were the cutest little droplets. Nothing better playing a good game, having a cat to cuddle 100%. You don't want to heal? Steven. Hello, who's crying over here? Hello.
I'm standing in the heal over here now.
Oh, now it's your turn to sandbag.
Well, you sandbagged first, so it's like... You get it done though, yeah, you do.
Oh, Wesker's there as well. That was unlucky. Hello, Steven. What are we doing? Kitties! You love your cats? I heard that my poor cats got locked out of the bedroom for the entire weekend that I was gone because my husband was like, you can't sleep in here. I'm having a good night rest. He locked her out. She must have been so pissed. I'm back now. I'm back. So she can sleep on the bed again. What's happening over here? Who am I saving? Oh my god, I'm not saving nothing.
Hello.
Hello, I was going for a save, but that was unsavable, I can tell you that much. Nemi over here.
Given the gen priorities, I see.
I mean, he needs his nowhere to hide in.
How did I not throw? Scam.
Oh! Yeah, Wesker just got scammed.
Oh wait, I want that. Oh, I just found the green one and I got stolen. 30 really needs it more than I do. And then.
The cats are only allowed... Oh, upgrades.
Why'd you show yourself, Rebecca? Why? I was there hidden.
On your room, because you're gonna be sea lost, so I love when I can have them near a bit. Yeah, in a bit. Yeah, that's good.
Steve, it's time to run.
Beautiful. Flashbang save.
Your flashbang save? W.
Yeah. On Rebecca. She still dies. But I got her. Hi, Sunny. Happy Tuesday. Welcome in. How are you? Enjoy your daily doggo treat. Thank you for the redeem.
You spray the stinky off me, Steve, please. Thank you.
Oh, it's so rough out here today, Sonny. You have no idea. Our survivor games are rough. Our killer games are rough. How have you been enjoying 2v8? Who are you playing? Are you on Wraith mostly?
Okay, Westford. Don't care about me.
Oh, there's no pellets here. GG, no pellets. No, gamer! Please
What the what have I
move!
just seen?
I don't know what we're doing. That was gorgeous. That
What have I
Jonah.
just seen?
That Jonah was like, oh my god, are you kidding me right now?
And I don't have bean juice left either. Jesus.
You've
Oi.
been playing everyone but Ray. Just finished the spirit game before Nemarcus. Nice. I don't know what the plan was. Hold on, I get up.
That works.
Damn,
No, he insta-picked me.
I was coming. That was a beautiful flashbang save, by the way. I'm so being
We love a good
followed.
bang save.
Oh, I'm so dead. We're all dead.
Jesus. Mate. Ow. Nemi's
You're
doing
using
his
TVA to
rituals.
get experience playing
Oh,
different
man.
killers. Good, that's a
Shut
good
up.
idea, Sonny, because there's
Maybe,
less
maybe,
pressure in a
exactly,
way,
please.
right? That's a good idea. Oh my god, he's here.
Thank you, Rebecca.
There's no sprays. There's no sprays left, by the way.
The spray box didn't show up for some reason. It's really stupid.
Oh. Oh.
I've got a spray, but I can use it for myself. I need one thing left in it as well.
No, you take it, it's fine.
But if I'm
David gets the last gen here in the corner.
Nice. I'm in the gate by Shaq, but
Oh, I just died. Yeah. Nothing I can do about that. I'm gonna check. Ada's coming for me. Check gates open. No!
I'm dead.
No, you so are. You're so dead.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Wesker's here. No, he grabbed the Steve! Flashbang save? No, she tried!
No, he's
Silent
got-
Wesker, yeah.
Silent
Nah.
Wesker, good bro. That was a good game though, GG's.
We almost had it. GG's. Bro, I don't know what you can expect here on Huntress. Like, ugh. I'ma try.
Do you want to play another Survivor match, or do you
Yeah.
want to wait for the thing?
No, I wanna play. I'm just like sitting here doing nothing. When I've got flashbang saves to make.
You gotta get your next TikTok compilation going of a bunch of
Yeah,
flashbang saves.
exactly.
I'm still laughing at that TikTok, by the way. You went into the basement against that buffer.
Oh my god, that was so funny. And the way you just went, you were so clever by going, no, I was there, he's not there. And I'm like, oh, he's not there? That's so weird. Wait, the fact that he didn't play like Basement Baba too, like, you know how Basement Baba usually,
Yeah.
they just stand there and guard the chest. And this one was like, anybody that enters my basement is just dead, dead meat. And I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I just die. It was funny. It was so
It's fine.
funny.
I'm surprised I didn't get banned for that, to be fair. Surprised I didn't get banned for saying that. Yeah.
I have duo stream with class tomorrow, gamers. I think we're gonna play one normal 1v4, and we just duoing. I'm really excited. I spoke to class again at HorrorCon 3 weeks ago, and we set another date for duo stream. Very excited. It's tomorrow. It's gonna be late. I'm starting 4 p.m.
Should be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Such a crack gamer. Focus, lock in.
I'm locked in all the time. Why are the killers both here?
I don't know.
Pyramid Head?
And a Wesker.
Ah!
Yeah, you're locked in, I can tell.
I was focused on the pyramid, okay? I didn't see the fucking big ass big ass fucking thingy.
You can't speak to him like that.
I'm dead. I'm not fucking.
Yeah, I have a fucking pyramid head now. Oh, gamer, 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 you did not fall for that. That hit me? I need to pay attention. Nah,
Not
he's
quite high pigment.
he's on to me, he's on to me. Why? There was like 17 other gamers there. Why are we on me?
Whole squad here. Hello.
There we go. Learn his lesson, him. Am I running into a Wesker? Yes.
Why you go for me? I just got on the hook. Why this? I mean, tunnels. I'm not going that way.
Oh, she gets cornered here. Don't hug a wall. Oh my god, she got out! She's insane!
Ow. He just holds his power, doesn't he? He holds it.
Oh, he knows everything.
Oh, yeah, this guy sends his power. I like this guy.
Yeah, yeah, it's alright.
My god, I was close.
She can pick herself up, right, with her power? Yes, she's up! I saved her! Oh.
Pyramid, it's not working what you're doing right now, I'll be honest. Oh, I was open my fucking mouth.
Maybe you just sit there and be pretty next time.
Yeah, I always jinx it every time someone's in chase. I'm like, oh,
I
don't
do
worry,
that.
chase, and they
Yeah,
get
I
stopped,
do that.
and then-
I do that.
Yeah, I should've
It's
shut
like
up.
you're celebrating
Oh, there's a
like how
green.
good you're doing it, how good you're playing,
There's
and
a
then
green, there's a green thing next to me. I want it. I want it. I swear, the person here that comes that sees this and gets that.
I'm
before
coming,
we
I'm
get
coming,
me,
I'm coming. Hold on, I'll save you.
I'll be
Hi Cal, welcome in. How are you?
Thank you.
Grab it.
Yoink. Thank you, thank you.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear. I'm good too. I'm really tired, and my games are not good today. I think it's because I'm tired, or maybe I'm just trash. It's either way. It's been rough games today. Oh, here we go again. Nah, he loves that bait. He also loves Sketch. You're back. Hopefully your internet doesn't hate me anymore. Oh my god, did your internet die? Gecko. Were you mid-game? Wesker's coming from your right. Nah, he's busy. He's doing some crazy shit. Blast mine. Math puzzles? You got math puzzle on Hogwarts Legacy. You didn't die. Oh, it didn't die, just very slow? Oh shit, were you like losing frames and stuff? That's annoying. There was really bad internet where we were in London. And it just does my head in because I couldn't watch a Twitch stream. My Discord messages weren't updating. It's just so annoying. You're on the chase of a lifetime gamer. How are you holding up? I guess you're right. Best not talk. Otherwise you jinx it. He's back at check. I'm coming. No.
I can't unmute. I kind of got like stand tilt on mute. So. He loves me though. He fucking spirit loves me. He blind the back of his head.
I mean, if he was facing me, I would have had you. You saw that, right?
Yeah, he would have. Yeah. I'm not blaming you. He's just fucking. He just wants me. He wants me back.
Yeah. Nah, he commits to his chases. Him. You suck at math? Me too. Me too. I don't do maths. You did it? Wonderful.
He's on me again, by the way. He's literally like it's like he fucking is looking for me at this point.
Do you not? Did you not manage to get a spray either?
No, I've been trying to get a spray the whole time. I got healed for a spray and he found me again. Oh, he's on someone else.
Yeah, he left. Oh, he's on me now. Oh, he's not
Got the
on
last
me.
gen there, so that'll be.
He does. Oh, the Wesker.
I got a spray.
Attention alien army.
Humble! Thank you so much for the raid! Welcome in, gamer! How are your games? Hi, Humble! Hi, Hazardous! Welcome in, happy Tuesday!
SR Handle rated your channel with 4 viewers.
Sir Humble, back from the fog, ready to trap and infect. This killer main's got extended lobbies and open invites. Don't be shy, ask about DVD, just don't get hooked. Useless, it's in-game, unless it's in-game. How are your games? Thank you so much for the raid. Hi, Popcorn Girl. Welcome in. Gamers, if you came in with the raid with Handel and you don't know who I am, my name is MVP. I'm a Dead by Daylight content creator. I'm an official creator for Behavior. I'm a Survivor main. I have 18 P100s. I love playing Dead by Daylight. And when I'm not playing DBD, you can find me cat sitting, dog sitting. I work at a horse's stables. Welcome in. How are you? Games were great. 2v8 gaming, surprisingly not too bad as Survivor. That's great. My games have been so rough today. What's happening? Am I escaping?
No, Wesker, no. No. Maybe flashbang? No.
I tried the flashbang.
Well, you tried. You wanted.
There was a Sheva. There was a Sheva. Oh, I didn't get to save Sketch, guys. They were on him. Your chase was like almost the entire game.
Every time I
Well
got off,
done.
he came back.
It's been rough games,
That's crazy.
Handel, to be honest. Our killer games have been rough. Our survivor games have been rough. I'm gonna play Huntress because I can't play Nemi. I can't do it. We'll have to see how my Huntress is. I'm not great at Huntress. It's, the killer is rough for me. We've spoken about this. You love Sheva? Yeah, me too. Me too. We love to see you, Sheva. Thank you so much for taking your community here. I understand if you need to raid and run, but everyone else, you're welcome to hang out. We're at least live for another hour. I'm gaming with my wonderful community member, my friend Sketch, who plays both Killer and Survivor. And I'm kind of here to have him carry me. Hey! Dr. Doom, Dr. Motherfucking Doom, GG, Solid Snake Ace, GG, well played. That was a good game. Well done. I hope 2v8 is treating you well. I hope you're getting good blood points. And you're having a lot of fun on 2v8. The game was laggy. Yes, I noticed it as well. And Killer's on ping all the time. That's rough. It was a good one though. Yes, I agree. Thank you for stopping by. Hyper Killer Games, improve soon. You have your support. Thank you, Hondo. I appreciate it. I just get too frustrated mostly. Thank you so much for the follow. Hey, well played. Good luck with your game. Thank you, YouTube. Good luck next. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. I appreciate your support for the channel.
Ex-Popcorn
gamers.
Girl
Thank you
followed
so
your
much.
channel.
Okay, here we go. Huntress Gaming. How's your Wesker gameplay these days?
I still need Jill to teach me, so it's probably gonna be completely terrible.
Okay, well,
But someone in chat want me to play, so yeah. I'm just waiting for someone to read that nurse game, which I'm gonna absolutely despise.
Oh my god, nurse, imagine.
No, please don't. Please, I hope. Please no.
I mean, you just kind of signed your own
jinxed that,
fate,
but
didn't you?
I know, but like, all the mean people right now are not in my chat, so they probably won't redeem this. It's okay. Don't worry. They're all listening. They're all listening right now. I'm just gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna get fucking assassinated by a nurse redeem in a minute. Don't worry.
You and Hazard just had a great game. To end it off, Ghosty and Trapper, we killed everyone. Hey yo, you got that 8K? That's huge. You can't say that you're proudly placing Ghostface in this stream, though. You know that, right? I can appreciate the Trapper, though. We don't like Ghostface in this house. I already had a Ghostface. It was on 1v4 on RPD. I was so miserable. But I'm glad it was a good game, though. Good teamwork with your duo. We'll love to see it. You love Trapper 2v8? Not the best. Very enjoyable? Yes. Sketch played Trapper, the previous game.
Let's go.
We got so many people caught in
Hopefully it's a
traps.
decent map.
I think we got a 7K. One person escaped through the hatch. It was a good one. Yeah, you can be very unlucky with Trapper or very lucky. Some people forget, because of the pressure of the time, they forget to set their traps. And they just M1 run after everyone. You don't have a chance. You need your traps. You need that setup time. You need to be smart about it, though. That's where you'll get your value. A lot of M1 trappers, I agree. Okay, RPD.
Oh, it's
Well,
not good for your Huntress.
I mean, for straight people running in straight line in corridors, it's not bad. They're gonna be on balcony. I'll go downstairs. Hello. Oh, almost clock Ben too. David's coming upstairs to you.
Okay, good question.
No, he too went the other way. He went to main. was worth a try. Because of how casual focused the mode is, a lot of people don't really have a lot of time to invest into most characters. Yeah, so that's why I'm struggling, right? I don't know if I can... I mean, where's the try?
Let me help you here.
With Trapper especially necessary to have... Thank you. To have a sense of what you're doing, yes. Yeah, double tap. Yeah, it's so annoying when you get double tap like that, right?
Nice.
Oh, if she would have run in a straight line, I would have had her too.
Where you going, Leon? Oh, just fall in this, okay.
There's 2 gens on balcony.
Is there?
Yeah.
They're a really bad setup for them. to
Yeah.
be honest.
Fuck, that's what I meant with the straight corridors though, but then I do have to hit my head shits. There we go.
Nice.
Hello!
Hello. I just want to help as well. He's standing outside.
Are they going around the back? I can go through main now.
They're going. Yeah, they're going. Both. There's two of them. Two of them.
Oh, the whiff. That was way too high. I hit her little Achilles heel, guys. Did you guys see that? That was W. Hello.
Hello. There you go. I got stealth now.
Okay, that was a little ambitious.
Hello.
Nice.
Nice.
Thank you, thank you. I enjoyed that. They're upstairs.
Hello. No,
Sorry.
It's fine, it's fine. Don't run away.
Oh man, the sprint burst. Also, not me trying to make Trapper seem extremely difficult. He's not on top. Hold on. Beautiful
Nice.
hitbox. Yeah, this god pellet here. Oh, nice. Expressive, but he's defo not the easiest character to play. No, I agree. She walked into that, I'm not gonna lie. Especially in mode that can be a stressful PvA drive. Yeah, for real. I just think I agree that like there's nothing difficult about an M1 killer, but like with Trapper and the traps, there's just so much more to it, right? Especially on 2v8s. It's the thing with Huntress. It's when you once you get your hatchets in, it's just so satisfying. Oh, I just need better aim. She's a healer. I don't know where she went. She has no bloodstains. Nah, she's onto something now. I'm moving on. they're here. I'm like, what gen am I hearing? Oh man. Nice
Yeah.
medium.
Oh.
I'm so slow. Easy. Easy.
There's a bunch of them over here on this gen downstairs in the corners of 3 of them
Yeah.
at least.
Coming.
Oh my god.
My god, they clocked you on the stairs? That's insane. Wait, she's not here. Oh, oops. Oh, I don't even know what I was aiming at right there. Good dodge. Oh my god, what is this lag? That's GG! There's another Yui. There's an injured Yui here in the room. No, she dipped, she dipped, she dipped. Are you picking? Are you picking? There was another injured survivor there.
No,
Okay.
I wasn't sure. I got it. I thought you
Yeah,
were picking
cool,
a
cool,
pick.
cool. No, no,
Oh,
no. I left to get chase this other girl. Oh,
Why are you pointing at me?
yeah, she's got
Oh,
god
okay,
pellets
yeah.
here. What? I don't know. Yeah, that's what Sketch was saying, that RPD is rough.
Show me that bird you get stuck on with Huntress hatchets. Hello.
Almost. I'm so slow, guys. I'm never catching up to this girl. Bro, look at me.
Let me help
We're
you.
just
It's your
going
main.
around in circles. Yeah, it's main staircase. Hold on. No. She can't go inside. I'm here. I'll go around. Oh, you found someone. Let's go. I don't think she went this way. Oh, she did. Imagine. The Yui's on the balcony. She's jumped down. Nice. Nice. I guess it's just the back gate on the other side that's open.
RPG was actually terrible. I can't use my power as well. That one was rough either.
I mean, you did really well. I got some nice headshots that made me happy. Do you wanna do another full round of killer and
Sure. What's up to you? I'm not sure
Survivor?
when you
Yeah, I
usually
got
go
time.
practice later.
Yeah.
Do you have
Can
time
we
for one
do
more?
another? Yeah.
We'll do a. I don't know if I'm doing. Why not? Yeah, I will.
I'm gonna run a quick ad break, guys. We're gonna run it now before we go into the next game. We'll be right back. I appreciate your support for the channel.
You go practice later, right? On for
Yeah.
For D4C.
Yeah.
Or E.
Yeah, so we have 2 practice days for what I sent you for this weekend. We have a lot of tournament games this weekend. We've got the Unity in the Fog. We have 1 game on Saturday. If we win, we play more on Sunday. And we also have Alternative League Week 2. I think we have
another one for Ultras League as well.
Yeah, so it's weekly now. So we did 1 on Sunday, our first round, and now this coming Saturday at 6:30. It's the second week, and then we've already planned next weekend as well. I think this Sunday it's week 3, so yeah, it's going fast now.
You're turning into a.
And if you're gonna learn, good luck
from
from the games. Houndal, thank you so much for the raid, taking your community here. I appreciate it. Thank you for the lurk.
You enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm just terrified that I actually have to play.
You'll do fine. You
I don't know.
You played in.
Nah, you're just being nice. I freeze and I
That's
do
not me
nothing.
being nice. Like in the practice I play against you, Jenny, the teams does really well, including you. That includes you as well. You want some like tourneys with what's that team called? It's not
With Civil War. Yeah, with
Civil War,
Loft's
yeah.
team. Yeah, I mean, we've got Jesus, right, bro? The guys, that gamer's cracked.
Jesus cracked, yeah. Jesus fucking.
Why are we yelling? Huh? What do we got?
A Spirit and a Wesker.
Oh.
Already.
Yeah.
Let's go on the side where nobody's on right now. Just so you know.
Oh my god. They got grabbed off a Jen by the spirits. Like, yoinked.
Yeah, there's nobody on this side over here with us, so we're all like,
Oh my god! I was running from the spirit into a Wesker. That is so frustrating. Yeah, I just die here. There's no vaults.
Do
I don't know, bro.
That was not shadow.
Hi, Wes. How are you, gamer? How are you? Have you, are you coming TwitchCon, Wes? How is your week going? And also, is your wedding this year? So much stuff.
I think I'm gonna go second here. You're gonna get that
No,
person
you're
first.
not coming. I was looking forward to hanging out again, gamer. That is so unfortunate.
My God.
Oh shit, nobody came for you?
The nick of time.
Oh, they
No,
got
no,
it, they
the nick
got
of
it.
time. Just the nick of time. Oh, well, thank you.
Have you been playing some 2v8, West? Are you on are you on the killer? Hi,
I got second
Mousy.
away from
Welcome
you.
in, good to see you.
Thank you for putting for me.
You ready for the weekend, Mousy? You're god at Icon this year. Honestly, next year is a plan. Good. I hope we get a good location, right? Because it's last time in Rotterdam. You looking forward to it? Amazing, amazing. Us too, us too. We're actually scrimming later to prepare. Yeah, gamers, if you don't know, Ferry is one of the hosts of the Unity in the Fog tournament that I'm taking part in the coming weekend. So lots to look forward to. We're really excited about participating. A little nervous, but yay! I mean, it's so exciting. You guys really put together an amazing tournament. It's gonna be so much fun. You've been enjoying 2v8? Excellent, West. Glad to hear. Don't sandbag me, I'm on a gen. Where did he go?
I think he's still on me, but I'm not sure. I think
No.
He's on the pads. Oh,
Hello.
hello. I see behind me. I was like, I'm looking for the
I just got done doing some 2v8 with a friend. Nice. Who were you playing? How's your P100 Wesker, Mousy? I'll give you a shout out in a second.
Thank you.
He's so back. I'm happy for you. I don't know if this is gonna be a good decision. So glad he's back. And you can get called all the time now? Yes. Oh. Do I need to run? No. Yes! Oh. Oh my god. I ran into a Wesker again as I'm running from a spirit.
Part of their V dropped. I see where you went. The V dropped them both.
I don't know why I'm leaving this. Oh my god. Tile. She thinks I'm at the pellet gamers. Juked! No!
No.
I appreciate that, Wes. Thank you so much for coming to say hi. I hope you have good games. They were trying to pick up a survivor and Kek vaulted. You gave him no purse. He didn't see anything. A thing? Right. That's gonna have to be like confidential, the confidential files. I love doing that to a Wesker. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Unfollowing, unsubbing, untournament participating. Oh no. We gotta love a Wesker Keg Vault. Come on. I guess I'm not allowed. That's fair. It's fair, honestly. Oh. I want to save a life. I saved this person's life. Hold on. No! Bro, I was so ready to save their life. She knows. No, no, no. Duped again. Love to see it. I have to save Sketch. Hold on. I can't save him. Imagine. Oh no. Wesker's upset about the whole thing. Oh, I hold myself. Unlucky. I don't know who he grabs, but someone. Ah, that is so unlucky.
WB mistake, I saw that.
Yeah. That was huge. Who's gating? Oh, I'm so dead. Oh, I'm so dead. That's so unlucky.
You
Somebody
okay?
save me!
You're not.
Somebody save me! Nah, they're here. Both of them are here. Oh my god!
My goal's open.
Running and
over there.
running! W Gamers. W Gamers! Beautiful!
Let's go.
Thank you, Sketch. Good save. GG's, yeah. I have no points, by the way. I did nothing this game.
That was a fun game. Jeez.
It was a good game. Thanks for stopping by,
Shout out
Mousy.
to
I really
Verahiri.
appreciate it. Mousy, enjoy your daily doggo treat. Thank you for the redeem. Another box for Resident Evil. I was literally getting Deathslinger after Deathslinger this morning, and now it's Wesker after Nemi after Wesker after Nemi. Okay, it's at least a Wesker.
What's a Huntress 2?
Alright.
Why are they both coming from me? You know?
It's the straw
Attention
aura.
alien
It's the
army,
straw
you
hat.
have
It's
a
aura.
raid incoming. I repeat, is raid
Oh my god,
incoming.
AK! Hello! Welcome! What's your stream?
Try to dodge Wesker and I got
Andre
dodged
Ken's
after
rated
How
your channel with
was-
7 viewers.
Oh, Jesus.
Dark Pals! How was your stream? Thank you so much for the raid. I'm so happy that you're back, gamer. Hi, Creo. I was lurking in your stream earlier. I think I saw you raid, Brendan. All the friends are here. You guys are amazing. I have a spray.
Thank you.
Thank you. How's the stream going? Stream as well. I'm really happy to be back. I was traveling in London this weekend. I literally just buckets. Bitch. I'm so happy to be back gaming, hanging out with all of you guys. Oh, I hear a Wesker. Maybe I leave. Oh! Rude. So I'm really tired, but I'm happy to be back. Games are rough today, I have to say. I'm struggling on both Survivor and on Killer, but I guess I'm still tired from the trip. Or maybe DBD just got harder. Maybe it just got more difficult while I was away. I don't know. It's possible, right? Maybe I need to up my skill. I don't know. Your stream was good. You did some DVD and then a horror game. How was the horror game? You don't generally get scared, do you? You always, like, sail through them horror games. Gamers, if you came in with the raid with AK, and you don't know who I am, my name is MVP. The M stands for Micah. I'm primarily a Dead by Daylight content creator. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm an official creator for Behavior as well. I'm a Survivor main. I have 18 P100s. I love playing Dead by Daylight. And when I'm not playing DBD, you can find me. He doesn't know I'm here. Cat sitting, dog sitting. I work at horse stables. And I miss flashbangs, like all the time. Oh, good hits. I could die here. That's so dumb. Ooh! Oh, there was a Wesker there. I was hopeful that I was going to be able to dodge that, but... Oh, this Michaela wants out. What a douche. Depends on the game. Some are just too scary, or some scared the life out of me. Some of them are really good. I really tried to go for that save. Maybe it was a mistake. I mean, we have one dead at 7 gens, by the way. I know she ran into the... Hello? Killer? Oh my god, this demon huntress? No, 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 no! Wesker, no! Come on! I deserve this, bro. I thought it was the Survivor first, and then as soon as I went on it, because there was no terror radius, I realized it was Wesker, and I was like, well, fuck me. I just die. Yeah, it's been rough out here today. There she is. Sketch is dead. Let's go play another Survivor game. Lol, she thinks I'm looping that tile still. Oh my god. The jukes. Because Wesker is back? Oh, that's why everyone's playing Wesker. I forgot. I forgot. Let's forget about this one and we just play another one. What do you say?
Sounds like a plan. Like I don't know what half team like this. I don't know what this Meg's doing. She just
Yeah, then Michaela gave up. She just left. She just
Right.
stood in front of the killer teabagging. They were like, yeah, I'm taking
love
you
our,
out.
There you go, one more.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. What colours have we not had today, actually? On TV, we've not seen a ghost face.
We've not had a single
There you go.
slinger.
And Slinger either, yeah. We've not had a ghost face
Uh,
either. I know you don't.
I
know
had a
either.
Tiffany earlier. No,
Shout
we did
out
have
to
because I was
Cryocade.
asking you about how
Tiffany.
to blind them.
Yeah.
We had an Oni.
Was
No
that
Dracula.
Yeah, no Dracula either, yeah. I feel I see Drac quite often. I don't know. People are just happy Wesker's back, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. That's what AK is saying. Everybody's playing.
I love how Legion took like pretty much a whole month to get fixed, and then Wesker the next patch like a week after gets fixed instantly. Priorities, I swear. I'm not complaining because like Legion's annoying as shit, but fucking hell, just funny.
Mr. Fox, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. Enjoy your daily doggo treat. Thank you for the 8 treats. How's your day been? AK, I understand if you need to raid and run. Thank you again so much for taking the community here. It's good to have you back. Thank you so much for the raid. We have once this killer round is finished, I'm gonna have to raid out because I do have attorney practice tonight. This is also our first Coldwind game.
Yeah, surprisingly, yeah, it's not Colvin at all.
Found a
Pretty much
Wesker
all the
chest.
Colvin maps are in here.
Just listening while I do uni work. Perfect. Thanks for hanging out.
It's a Wraith and a Wesker. Okay.
Your day so. You slept kind of weird. You got punished with a
Wait,
sore
yeah.
neck and a headache all day. Shit, that sucks. Other than that, all fine. Good. How is your sister? Is she all better?
Oh, priorities Wraith, chicken the gem.
I'm good, thanks. I'm really tired. I had a wonderful time in London. The weather was so nice. Which was an absolute treat. Games are rough today, but I'm so happy to be back. Hang out with all of you gaming. The internet was trash in Seven Oaks. So I could barely watch anybody stream. I was struggling to keep up with my stream streaks. I couldn't see any DBD, couldn't chat with anyone. My Discord messages weren't loading. It was very frustrating. But the weather was good. We had good company. I had a lot of drinks. So it was good. That is so rude.
There we go.
I ran into a wraith running from a Wesker.
No, it's Wesker. Like, I can't tell it's very to the parts, to be fair. I'm running from one and I run straight into the arms of the other one.
I mean, people are genning. That's good.
It's really going better than the last game, mate, when nobody was genning.
Yeah. Your sister's fine. It's
So there's
finally
7
getting
gens
hot
pretty much
outside
everyone
enough so that
took
she
at least
doesn't have to
once
wear
or
a jacket, and
twice.
she's been loving it. Wonderful, wonderful. It has been such good weather. Oh! Somebody take this hit. No, 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 no. Why me? Okay. Oh, I'm gonna get blocked.
Do you
Bro, that didn't.
think you
I'm bugged. No. That wouldn't drop. Granny, thank you for the alert refresh. Man!
You okay? He's being double teamed.
No, no! I was running from the Wraith again into a Wesker, and then I probably wouldn't drop, so I'm annoyed. And now I really can't risk lurking for a save, and that's frustrating. I'm doing it anyway. I deserve it. I need to go. He's gonna kick that gen. Oh my god. People are walking into fucking Wesker again.
Right, doesn't really do anything whatever you're doing here. Hey then, see you later, Ray.
Nice. Whenever you see Alucard, you panic because you assume it's a killer. It looks like a killer. Hi, Fowler. Good to see you. How are you? How is 2v8 treating you? Welcome in. I'm gonna just chill on this gen, I think, for now. It's because he's so much taller looking? Yes! Okay, maybe I spray first. I don't know.
Ow.
Oh, Wesker's here. It's not good.
I'll fucking play.
Okay, sticking with the elegy.
That was a sort of played Ray.
Oh!
Is that all you
I had a feeling it was a mistake hanging around. She deserves to heal her. He got the Tory, but she was first hook. Sketch is here for a heal. I think he's coming back.
Maybe broke the power.
No, MFT. Oh, he wants the LD, thank God. Got you.
Thank
Good, wonderful, I'm glad to
you. Ray
hear.
scares me. He keeps popping out of nowhere.
He's here, he's
Don't
here,
wanna
he's here,
wait.
he's here, he's here. No, 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 you can't die. Bro died.
He's gonna take roll. Oh my, he's not
Ooh!
I thought he was gonna go around. I was gonna try to fake it.
Yeah, that's the problem with this dumbass tile. Ah,
I love the harvester.
fuck the body block.
He's quite good at it, you know. He knows what he's doing. I can't move it to you though.
I don't have anything.
Yep.
Literally nothing, 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 nothing. I just die. You've been on
Great,
killer
take
most of the
something,
time?
like-
Nice, I hope it's been good games. My games have been absolutely miserable. Absolutely miserable. I can't. I got a couple cool headshot shots with Huntress, so I'm looking to get a couple more next game. I literally ran into fucking nothing. I'm so annoyed.
2 gens, gamers, 2 gens.
Okay, show off.
I don't mind fast forwarding, I don't mind being chased. Where are you going? Why? Well, stop, wait to pick up, wait until I get there, for fuck's sake. There's like nothing here. Why is there nothing here? Hello.
Everything's been dropped, gamer. Wesker's been like all over this area. They dropped everything.
Okay.
Nah, you were just better. It's crazy.
No. Why did I think that? Ow.
Oh, I don't think you make this. That was a good idea. It was a good idea. You got the blind also.
I'm right here as well, right here. I'm dead anyway. We have nothing left anymore.
I know. Everything got dropped. Alright, here we go. I think it's killer time now.
Yeah. As long as it's not in the map, that's all I ask for.
Yeah, okay. Whew. Breathe.
Alright, you got this. You actually played well on RPD with those hunters.
Yeah, it was alright. I got a couple shots in. I was happy.
Like RPD is like a map like certain maps like DC on certain killers. RPD is one for hunters. I can't do it. Oh my god. Michaela's like, is that Shah? I wonder if that's Shah. Someone in my chat loves Billy, and literally like, a few days ago they said, "Oh, I changed my name on DVD to hit like Billy's wife or something like that." So I wonder how much is that?
Oh.
And also another Michaela main, so
Okay.
we'll see.
It could be them.
I wonder.
Alright, here we go.
What'd you say?
Alright, here we go.
Let's pray. That's all I want. Just a decent map, half decent, please.
I'm gonna sleep in tomorrow, guys. I'm gonna be honest.
A long day for you today.
No, but it's because stream is late because of class. I can.
Oh, yeah, tree starting at 4, right? Oh my god. What is Larry? He's not RPD, but still. There you go, enjoy your speed boost.
Nice. 12.5%. I can hunt him down now.
Wait.
No one's here. There's no one there. They just didn't spawn in. Oh, they're literally on the other side of this wall.
Okay, we're sticking guns. Hello. Pick you up.
Nice medium. Love to see it. Who's here?
As well. I knew Shah. I was wondering if it was you.
Ah, it is them! Actually.
Yeah. Hello, hey Ada, that's good. No, yeah, yes, I gotta do it. I'm sorry, Ada. Sorry, I got too giddy. I thought.
Nah, that's funny.
It's funny.
So who am I not chasing? The Michaela?
It's the Michaela. I'm not sure who you're playing with. I think you're only playing a duo, right? I'm not sure you're playing with Shah.
Well, I mean, I gotta get some kills. Otherwise, I'm gonna feel bad.
Hello.
Oh,
Are you
it's
playing
the
a
V
spooky ghost
again.
thing?
I don't
thought
want to
recognized
chase her.
your, I had a feeling it was.
Bro, I'm just running. You already have like 7 hooks, and I'm just running around the map with my little hatchet. Like, fucking
It's
hell.
good on the outside, good on the outside. The outskirts is pretty good. Hello. 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 Jesus.
Oh my god, I thought she was gonna go for the window. That was so bad. Hello, you should have looked behind you, lady.
Oh. Hello. I think the
We just gotta make sure we don't
Fang's with
kill
them
them.
as well.
Yeah,
The
I
Fang's
see
with
your
them as
chats.
well.
I see your chat.
There's 2 of them. Hello. I will go for you. Okay.
Oh, is
Don't
this a
actually-
Michaela? Is this them? Yes, okay, I'll leave them.
There's only one Michaela, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I move on. Hello! Oh, gamer. What are you doing? No, I'm not going to actually allow that. Or that. Oh no, he's in pallets and they're all saving.
Come over.
Drop the pallet, drop it, drop it, drop it. Oh my god, I have no hatchets. Yeah, they want to go for the...
Hello.
Oh!
There's
I
a
don't know if the
Frisbee as
other
well.
Ada's still here. She is, and I'm out of hatchets. That sucks. M1. Ooh, yeah. Well, fuck me, I guess.
I don't know what the team's doing though, Shah. I don't know what your team's doing, I'll be honest.
I don't care which one I get, gamer. I get you, it's fine. I don't care. I literally don't care. Where are you going?
So lucky after him.
Wait, I didn't run out of hatchets. Why couldn't I hatchet them? I literally have 4 left. Hello. Oh my god. Got her.
Hello. W. Hello. Oh my god, I suck. Get back.
What do
here.
you mean? You're doing so well.
Hello. I just missed like a point blank chainsaw. I was like, it's like, yeah. Just people around an exit gate. Hello.
Who is this? Yes.
Why are we hiding here? Why are we hiding here?
Oh no.
Lumpy cheese.
I'm sorry. She's so dead. I did not mean to target her, but I'm taking her out. It's happening.
Hello.
I just kept running into the V.
Same, I keep running into the V as well.
Oh.
Hello, McHello.
Wow.
Someone's already rebuilding the pallet. I'm gonna stop that. Ow.
Oh, the blast mine. I'm gonna have to. Is she on death hook already? Because this was just mean.
I don't know who's dead on her. I don't know if she knows.
I'm gonna have to leave them.
I think the Yui is, but if they they could have gone like tonic as well.
No,
so
I
I'm
mean
not sure.
the gamers that were saving, kind of.
I don't know. I've hooked Kayla once, and I've hooked Feng once as well.
I didn't hook either of them yet.
But I'm scared to just kill them and just accidentally kill them.
Yeah. I mean, we can. They have power, right?
LA.
If we down them, we can still get away.
Yeah,
Who
so
do we
they
have
took
left?
out,
We have a
yeah.
Yui, one of the Adas, a V. Where is everybody? Huh? Why are we hiding? Kicking all the
Doing your turn
gens,
over
you
here,
know.
yeah. Oh, we're riding the exit gate. Hello, V.
Oh, that does not deserve an escape if you're hiding in the exit gate with 5 survivors
thank
left
you.
still.
Oop. Hello, Yui.
Okay, the girls are at the solo gen. I've just injured them and I'm moving on.
Just the 8 are left, I think. I think that Yui's dead. Yeah. Are you hiding, gamer? Are
Did
you
I-
hiding, eh?
Did I hear a
Hello.
loker?
Hello. Oh. Be on hook as well. Nice. Both of them left.
Yeah, they're both here on the gen. They're on the single gen. I'm kind of playing this game.
I carried the hatch, but I can't carry you. Big hatch.
Yeah, you should leave.
You pick yourself up with power, sure.
Yeah.
You got your thingy.
We need to find another hatch.
You went to Mori, yeah? You went to Mori. I can find a Mori.
Ah, Mori. Okay, hold on. I'm coming back. GG's. Hey, that was like a game. You get so many downs, gamer. You were on top of this shit. Like, holy hell.
Crazy, yeah.
So good.
GG's. I assume that's it for you then, for your games?
Oh my god, Taze, you're just in time. That was our last game. How are you, gamer? Thank you so much for the redeem. Thank you for the 55 treats. You're gonna keep going, Sketch?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep going, yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. Thanks so much for this.
No, thank you as
It's
well.
always rough for me, but I had fun in the end. Got a
fun
few
as well, yeah, I had
saves. That was a really good killer game. I guess Dahlia's suggestion to go Huntress was a good decision.
It was, yeah, she played really well as Huntress. And thank you for the game. And I'll talk to you later. Enjoy the rest of your night.
No problem. Talk soon. Bye.
Welcome, bye.
Oh, gamers, thanks for hanging out. This was it's rough. I don't know what the problem is. I mean, I know what the problem is. I'm the problem. 2v8 killer. It's just I get frustrated. We made it through. We made it through. You're busy playing Ask Have a Time Zone? Oh, nice. I hope it was a good time. Well, you got your redeem well in time. We're gonna go raid out. Thanks everyone for hanging out. We're back tomorrow, gamers. It's duo stream with Claust. I'm super excited. We reconnected at HorrorCon and we've planned another duo stream. I expect it's gonna be normal 1v4 gaming. We're just duoing. So that's tomorrow late. So 4 p.m. I think I'm starting, okay? So I have some time to go to the horses and chill and recover. And then duo games with Class. I'm really excited. Let's go say hi to Sketch, gamers. Please copy the raid message. Thanks everyone for the follows. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting, chilling, lurking. It's been an absolute pleasure. AK, thank you so much for the raid. Handel, thank you for the raid. Alize, thank you for the raid. Mori, thank you for the raid. Gecko, thank you for the resub. 2 months. Thank you guys so much. Thanks everyone for the stream streak. Thank you for the follow, Biopur. I really appreciate your support for the channel. Welcome in. So let's go say hi to Sketch. He's going to continue on this killer and survivor game in Azrai. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'll be back tomorrow, guys. Do stream with Claust. I'm super excited. And then more games over the weekend with a variety stream on Sunday. But have an amazing rest of your day. Take care and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Bye.